Okay, great. Now we're in business. I've got this recorded because I wanted to make sure everybody has it. Yes, I can definitely. Susan asked me if I can repost the document. I'm absolutely going to do that, and I'm going to continue doing that. So hold on, but let's do it real quick for everybody, just so we have it. And I've got it where I keep it up and make it simple. We're covering database today. This is the last time I'm going to cover it for a while. Classes. Susan, let me make that public for everyone. Okay, now the syllabus is going to be reposted again and again. It is saved at the gpsglobalpartners.com, very first page, bottom left-hand side, and daily downloads, but it won't be there for a couple of minutes. Since it's being recorded, this is live. This is database summary, everything you need. I believe without reservation that listings come from our database. That's the number one source. Unless you have a massive budget, you're going to get listings based on you being an expert and people trusting you. Database is mission critical. The number one thing I always talk about that you should be communicating out to your database is information about what's going on in the knowledge of what's going on in the real estate market. I happen to use every single day something called Google Alerts. And what happens when I use Google Alerts is I get an email every single morning, and this is what it looks like. And I'll go very quickly because I'm not going to bore you guys with a lot of this. This is what the Google Alerts looks like. And you'll notice Google Alerts, Google Alerts, Google Alerts, Google Alerts. Well, I pulled one of them up because it was really interesting to me. And here is the Google Alerts that I pulled up that I'm going to be talking about. And the subject is, this is a searchable chart showing the price changes in America's 384 largest housing markets. And you'll notice that there's a link right in here. So when I click on this link, you better believe I'm going to copy this, and this will be embedded inside of what I'm sending to my clients. Now, I send out every week something to them, and I have a standard template that I use, and I change the text, I change the link, which will be this housing market, and I want them to get an email from me. That's everybody that is in my database, every single person. I don't care who they are. I want them to get something from me where I am summarizing. Now, yes, I use ChatGPT, or I use, in this case, Gemini, and I have them rewrite the summary for me. I've done videos on this, so I won't bore you with it, but the thrust is, it's a summary of what the article is with a link to the article and a headline that captures their attention. If you don't know how to write headlines, you really need to learn this. Folks, again, cameras on. I want energy. I want you guys engaged in this call. This is so important. This is your business we're talking about. Please put your cameras on, but think about it this way. Our responsibility, first and foremost, is marketing. You must market you to the people out there who already know you, like you, and love you. But the thing is, you forget about, you're being forgotten about. We forget about our friends sometimes. That's happening to you. That can't happen anymore. Google Alerts is an extraordinary vehicle in which to give you content. And if you want to learn how to use Google Alerts, go to YouTube and type in how to use Google Alerts. It'll show you how to do it. I have mine set up. It shows up every single morning. That's my content. I read it daily. I am very knowledgeable about what goes on. One of my subjects is real estate updates, inflation, because that's a big deal. I have that as a Google alert. You can set it up yourself. Go to Google, figure out how to do it. Google Alerts gives you the ability to communicate at least once a week to your database. I use KV Core. You can use Flow. There's so many different ways to do it. Any software you have, any CRM you have, gives you the ability to send out emails. The part that's going to be a challenge for every one of us is, oh, I don't have something pretty made up. Make a template, change the text, change the links, but use the same template. One and done. Okay, this is part of our conversation with our database. Now, y'all think about this. Our database, these are people that know us, like us, and have relationship with us to some degree. And I am going to show you how to add new people to your database at the end. I've got literally exactly what to do with that. These are people who are probably going to choose to work with us or somebody else who they have in what's called a bucket. Now, this is how mind mapping works. Y'all pay close attention to this, everybody. It's the important part. We can only hold 2 or 3 of a particular category inside of our brain. And for instant recall. So I do this experiment. I'm not going to do it with somebody right now. I say, name 3 different car manufacturers. And everybody's like Ford, GMC, BMW. There's always, I could say to my wife, say, name 3 shoe companies, and she'll rattle off 2 and then go, oh yeah, that's the third. People remember very quickly, instantly. You can do this experiment with yourself. Think about it. Name, for all of you, not out loud, 3 bread companies, bread manufacturers. 1, 2, 3. The third one took a minute to recall. Wonder, Pepperidge Farm, Sara Lee. But it takes a second to get that third or the fourth or the fifth. So our job is to be the top people in their brain. By doing that, by you being the expert, by you providing extraordinary value, one of the things I'm going to challenge you to do is make sure you're communicating relevant information. This is where Google Alerts comes in. Google Alerts allows you to gather that information, summarize it down, and send it off. I've done tons of videos on this. I'm not going to bore you with it right now. We need to reach out to the people in our database, and we need to sort them out. You've got 1,000 people in your database. Your responsibility is to sort them into your top 150 maximum. If you only have 30 or 40, totally cool, no problem. Every one of those people in your database should get a hashtag. That hashtag, so that we've got like our big database of 1,000 people and we're looking for our top, I'm going to use 100 people as an example. Our top 100 people would be a tag of some type or another, so that you could go into your database and search, and just 100 would pull up. For me, it's hashtag Sphere. I use KV Core because that's my software. It's free. So if I go into my KV Core, I type in hashtag Sphere, 74 people pop up. That's the number of people we have in our database between Jackie and I. That's it. That's all we have. Now, we have 3,000 people in our database, but there's only 74 that are part of our our group. And what we did is we went inside, and this is important, pay attention to this. After we selected our top 100, 150 maximum, they have to pass this test. This is the Publix test. The grocery store test. That if I look down an aisle of a grocery store and I see them, I have 2 choices. First, duck, run, and cover. Get out of the way because I forgot their name. I recognize them, but I don't know who they are. They don't make it. The second is, I was like, oh my God, that's John and Sue. I walked down and said, hey, John, hey, Sue, how are you? Great to see you. I know them. They know me. We have a conversation. Those people would get a hashtag Sphere. Y'all get that? 100 people. Now, once I have that top 100, this is the important part. I'm going to pull them all up in my database in my world, because I use KV Core. I would type hashtag Sphere, and I would pull up all 100 people. And the very first person would be hashtag 01 Sphere. The second, then I click the next button, then hashtag 02, 03, and I keep going through until I got till 28 Sphere. And then I'd start over at 1, and I do it. This takes time blocking. You're going to need to schedule this and say, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through and I'm going to create. First, I'm going to find my top 100, 150, 50, 75, 170. Doesn't matter. Your top people that pass your grocery store test. And you're going to give them all one particular tag, hashtag, nomenclature, something that allows you to sort and pull them all up at the same time. And then you start at the first one, and you break them down into 28 pieces, which correspond with 28 days of the month. There are 28 days in every single month. Okay. Now, this takes away your thinking about it. Stop trying to think. It doesn't work. None of us have the discipline to be that programmed. I happen to know that I can go into my database right now. In fact, I'll show you what I do in my database every day. Got to share this. Hold on one second. Give me a thumbs up if you can see this. Thumbs up. Cool. All right, great. So this is my database. Let's make sure this plays, and I need a thumbs up if you can hear it, please. Way too fast. Sorry. I listened to things at like hyper speed. My apologies. All right, thumbs up if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Click on contacts, click there. I'm going to go to my hashtags, numbers. Let's go hashtag 12. So these are all the people. I'll use Lori Lucente. She's a friend of mine. I open her up. Under her profile, you see that her hashtag is 12 recruit. Well, she's somebody that I'm interested in working with. But
now I have different hashtags. One is recruit, one is sphere, one is family, because I'm not forgetful. I actually want to be able to search my family at any time. I use different hashtags, but I always use the numbers for how to organize them.
But I would also have people that are in here like Brandon Little or Matt Wheatley or Amy Cash is a new lead as well. And their hashtag is 012, or excuse me, 12 there. So let's say I type in sphere. Brandon is my sphere. I can change this number very easily, and that's how I would call people. Super easy to do, and it's on your phone. And when you're doing that, if you click inside of them, I go click inside of Brandon, I have this plus button. I can call, text from my smartphone or from my number. I use my personal phone number. It keeps a record of it. Definitely love this. I can add notes about what I talked about, add a task if I need to do that. And if they're no longer interested, I can just delete the lead. So everything you need is right here.
This is how you will call people based on what their number is. Today is what is today? The 25th. So it would be hashtag 25 sphere. Those are the people I'm calling today. Now, the question is, can I call them? Can I text them? Absolutely, yes. What you're looking for is a back and forth conversation. So I have a conversation with somebody. It's a great conversation. I'm stalking them on social media. Pay attention, folks. We're going for times we touch our database, because this is important. Now we're already using Google Alerts. So once a week, we send out an email of the best article that's most relevant, that shows us as real estate experts to everybody, all 3,000. It's very easy. Every CRM can do it. It's a scheduled email, and it goes out once a week, and it's an update about what's relevant, and it's got my big picture and Jackie's big picture so that they know it came from me, and it talks about real estate, which means I'm an expert in the real estate market. I need them to know I'm an expert. Now, once a month on the 25th, if that's their hashtag, I know that I'm going to communicate with them in some way, shape, or form. If you want to call them, I would strongly encourage, that's the best thing. It is a call about something that you've seen on their social media, or you know about them, or relevant to them. You are creating a relationship. Now, I'm going to say this again. Please put your cameras on. Pay attention. This is the last conversation I'm going to have on this. You need to get this. This is about you, because listings to live is true, and your listings come from your database. So I try and call my database at least once a month. I'm going to call them at least once a month. And what I'll do is I'll call them, and I'm going to have a conversation only about them. How is it going? I saw that you and your kids went to Italy, or your son just had a great year in football, or your daughter's volleyball is amazing. It doesn't matter. Oh my God, I just wanted to call. Or if I'm not comfortable doing that, I can send them a messenger. I'm over 50, so I use Facebook. Some of you use different messenger systems. I don't know what they are, doesn't matter. But I'm going to have a back and forth conversation. I may, in fact, on their birthdays, I'm going to use my phone, and I'm going to send them a Facebook Messenger video. And if you have a great conversation, send a video text to the person. You might want to consider having stamped envelopes with you at all times, because I would also write them a message. Now, here's the question. Well, I don't know where they live. You're a real estate agent. Look it up. And if you're not sure where they live, here's the quick conversation to get somebody's mailing address. It's very simple. It goes just like this. Let's see. Kimberly, I'm picking on you just because that's my sister's name and I love that name. You don't have to answer, but I'm going to use you as my demo, and you're on camera, which means you're awesome. I love you. Hey, Kimberly, it's George. Listen, Jackie and I, my wife, are having this competition about holiday cards, and she's boasting that she's going to beat me, and I'm not going to let that happen. Would you mind terribly if I sent you a holiday card? I am putting together my list right now, and I want to make sure you're included. Her response is, yeah, of course. Here's my address. Great. So what I'm going to do is I have a bunch of holiday cards. I'm going to fill one out, make sure her address is on there. I'm going to add it to my database, in this case, KV Core. Now I have her address. I'm going to use that in a little bit. If I don't have her email address, because every month I look and make sure I have all the information about her, I put notes in about her. She is my business. Kimberly, God bless you. You're my business. I love you. Please remember me when it's time to buy and sell, because I'm your resident expert. You get an email from me every week that's relevant. You get a call from me once a month that really showcases that it's all about you. You're usually some form of social media, because if I'm looking her up, I'm going to tag her or say something in social media that's appropriate, like, oh my God, you and your husband, sorry, I'm making an assumption, Kimberly. You and your husband look so great in that picture. What a wonderful time. It looked like a great dinner. Way to go. Or like something, or some form of engagement, because engagement matters. It shows that I care about her. And that's the most important part in our life, is caring about the other person. So let's do some real quick math. She gets an email from me once a week that I get from where I just curated that information. She gets a call from me once a month. She gets at least one form of communication on social media, validating or something to that effect, or whatever the case may be. We missed it, by the way. March 18th was National Goof Off Day, and there's a calendar where you could say weird calendars. You may want to send out a postcard to everybody. We'll get to that in a minute, about National Goof Off Week. I have a picture of all four of our children sitting right here like this with a classic kid pose. And I try and send that out. I didn't this year. I try and send it out around the 6th and say National Goof Off Day is the 18th. Take the day off. You've earned it. My children have already got a jump on it. That's the postcard. Okay. Haha. Yes, it's funny, but I'm in front of their face again. You get that we have spots for two people in our bucket of particular topics. For real estate agent, there's a spot for two people. Instant recall. Instant recall. The more you're in front of them, the more you have recall. Name 3 different kinds of soda: Coke, Pepsi, Fanta. Okay. 3 different breads. We did that for ladies. 3 different shoemakers. You get 2 right off the bat, but your third is a challenge. You need to be in those buckets. So back to what we were just talking about with Kimberly. A phone call once a month, some form of social media, 4 emails a month that goes out there. Okay, right there, if we duplicate that every month, that's 6 conversations, or 72 different times of touching Kimberly over the course of the year. We have proven that for every 12 people in your database, if you communicate with them 33 times, you're going to get 2 different forms of transactions. One is going to be a business of their own. The other is going to be a referral. But nobody will refer you unless they know that you actually care about them. So when you're talking to them, when you're communicating with them, the only conversation that matters is them. They are the topic. You don't count. I don't mean that harshly, but think about this. It's got to be focused on them. Last time I'm going to say it. Put your faces on. This is for you. You need this if you're going to thrive in this industry. This industry is changing. You need to pay close attention. I am an expert at this. I am not bragging. I want you to get this. Put your faces on and engage. Take notes. Okay. So we've done our monthly phone calls. I just showed you a video on how to use your software to do this. The conversation is only about them, and gather the information from social media. And I would encourage you to tag and like and make a comment with them on social media so that they know that you're engaged, not just in a phone, not just in a weekly email, but also in their social media and what they're doing. It's always a compliment. It's always about them. I would definitely do a success postcard. I'm going to share my screen one more time, and hopefully this will pull up properly. By the way, this is, there it is. This is in, the link is in there. This is the monthly postcard template I use. There's a shared link in that Word document, which is dropped. I will drop it again, I promise. In that Word document that is dropped, this postcard, the only thing I change is this slogan and this photo. This is Canva. There's the front. The back is in there as well. It is available for you to use, steal, download, duplicate. Doesn't matter. I just got Kimberly's email or address because I said I wanted to make sure I put this out for, I'm sending her a holiday card because Kimberly's awesome and she deserves one. This is the postcard I would send out once a month that says it's, we just sold a home. Here's why. Evidence of success. This is my main real estate conversation besides my weekly emails. And really how they sort it is just like this. Over the garbage, trash, trash, trash. Oh, look at that. There's Jackie and that guy standing behind her. They must have sold another home. Boom, boom, boom. Got it in my head. Okay. By the way, for 100 people, the cost on this one, I use amplifiedmail.com. You can use whoever you want. Amplifiedmail.com for this size postcard is 72 cents gone out. You have 100 people times 72 cents times 12, which is, my calculator doesn't work. There we go. That is a total of $864 over the course of a year. Folks, one listing pays for the total expense of this entire database campaign we're talking about, because that is your absolute expense. So I've got a phone call. I've got a weekly email going out that I get from Google Alerts. I just pick the best topic that's there and I make sure that that gets out. I've got a postcard that goes out on the first of the month. That takes me about 30 minutes because I'm going to have to export from my CRM the addresses of people, first name, last name, street number, street address, city, state, zip. I take the front card, PDF, back card, PDF. I give that over to amplifiedmail.com. I didn't see the postcard. Oh my God. Did you, I'm sorry. Did everybody not see the postcard? Just give me, no. Oh, let's do this. It's still up. Let me share. I am so very sorry. How about now? Are we good? Can you see it? Thumbs up. Ted, you good? All right, cool. I am so very sorry. So this link for this postcard is a Canva design. It is yours. It is in this Word document syllabus. It will be in the chat. It's also going to be in gpsglobalpartners.com, bottom left-hand front page. Daily downloads. Give me an hour after we're done. It'll be there by 10:30, guaranteed. The site's down right now or it'll already be waiting for you. So by 10:30, gpsglobalpartners.com. Same place you went for your checklist. The only thing I change is this photo and this banner, which has a text and whatever that is. Now, mine says, we only work with 5 clients at a time because incredible service requires incredible attention. Folks, change your phone number for right here for your, we sold this home to make room for yours. Find out what your home is worth by texting your home address to, and this is Jackie's cell phone number. So here's the question. Well, what if they text me the number and I don't know? You're a real estate agent. They're texting you the address. You now have their phone number because they texted it to you. If you don't already have it, which is the chances are you do because they're part of your database and you're sending this out directly to people that are friends of yours already. And everybody notice there is no address. There is no price. There is nothing else on here. This is not marketing a property. This is marketing me. And because it says we, and if you're with my brokerage, all of you know who my brokerage is. If you're with my brokerage, you have the ability to use any listing image from our brokerage because we is appropriate. We means our brokerage. It doesn't mean Jackie and George because the truth is all relationships are with a broker. Now, if you've got a concern about that, remember, you're sending this to your friends. I want to get this out of the way quickly because this is important. Your job is marketing. First and foremost, your second job is amazing service to our clients at a level they've never experienced. And when we talk about listing, I'm going to give you the tools for that next week, as well as a 6-week marketing campaign to put into use because we do not put it in the put a sign in the yard, put it on the MLS and pray. The 3 Ps. That's not us. That's everybody else. We have an ongoing aggressive marketing campaign that lasts for 6 weeks. If nothing else happens, there's a full campaign that supports a reduction. There's a full campaign that supports doing an open house or some form of additional marketing. We are not one and done. We are full service real estate professionals. And I'll show you how to do that next week. But your number one responsibility now is marketing. You need to get out there. They need to know that you're not a secret agent. So you need to send a postcard once a month. We figured it out, $864 over the course of a year. The template is there for you. Now, by the way, it'll take you about 30 minutes. Once you get the template set up and it's you and all you're doing is swapping out a picture and whatever the banner is, the kind of look what happened banner. The next thing you're going to do is you need to send out once a month a video update about you. It is a 90-second clip. It's done with the phone. You put the phone on a stand. The stand can look like anything. In fact, for $24, you can get a stand that looks just like this, that actually opens up and expands out to a 5-foot tripod. I don't know if y'all can see this. $24. You don't have one of these? You should. This is where it holds my phone. It's got a little phone snappy holdy thing. It's even got a remote control on it. It's $24. Where? Amazon. Okay. But that's what I do. We take a video once a month and it's an update from Jackie and George. And we just talk about what's going on in our world, and it's about us, and it's 100% about us. It has 3 bullet points. It says, and the title is, hi, their name. This is your monthly update from Jackie and George. The video goes something like this. Hey, I'm George, and this is, Jackie says her name. We just wanted to give you an update of what's going on in our lives. We've got spring break. We just got back from the beach. We spent a week there. We're all sunburned. But most importantly, there's some news happening in the real estate industry. So we are doing our best to pivot. Now, I'm going to have 3 bullet points: spring break, real estate news, and whatever the third thing is. And nobody will open that if they don't have a relationship with me. But here's the thing. If I'm commenting on their social media, I'm reaching out to them once a month in a back and forth conversation, be it phone, be it text. Little footnote for the phone. I call them in the morning. I showed you exactly what I do, so I know who to call, and I press call and I call them. And I'm going to talk about something on social media because that hour it takes me to make my phone calls, I've already researched them. And I happen to know, and in this case, I'm just going to pick somebody else. Let's see, Michelle Berto. Hey, Michelle. Michelle Berto's on. Hey, Michelle. So I happen to know that Michelle and her husband just got back from Italy. And I'm like, oh my God, your trip was amazing. What? Where do I go? What do I do? Whatever the case may be, you're good to go. I'm having a conversation about her. Now, here's a little footnote. In that conversation, she can be like, hey, how's the real estate market? So you know what, Michelle? And the reason I showed you on my phone is because I may be driving. In fact, I like to do it when I'm driving. And my response to her is, you know, Michelle, this is a personal call. I'll be back in my office in about an hour, put my real estate hat on. I was really just calling because I was fascinated by that trip you and your husband went on. And it was so cool. I can call you back if you have a real estate question. Lean in when you say this part. Do you? No. I was just checking. Oh, cool. So tell me more about the trip. Try this experiment at your house. I double dog dare y'all. Have a conversation with whoever your significant other is. Mine's still on the phone, so I'm in trouble. She's the second George Philbeck person. She logged in as me. And don't talk about you, talk about them. Ask them questions about them the entire time. They will think you're the most interesting person in the world. Jackie, if you can unmute your mic, just say something whenever you get a chance. I have a question for you, but I need you to be able to talk on that one because you're going to give the testimony to that. Are you able to talk? And she may not be.
So yes, I am. I am. I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
yep,
okay.
I am.
Do you remember me having a conversation with one of our friends where I said, watch what I'm going to do? And I had that conversation for what, 5 to 10 minutes with them?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
All about them. We were sitting at the counter at the kitchen, and I talked about that.
Yep.
What was their response when we were done? What did they think of that conversation?
She said, "Oh my God, this was the best night. I had so much fun." And the entire time, George talked about her. Yeah.
Now, I told Jackie I'm going to have a conversation about her on purpose. Miss Severe, Gilda, do you need me, or can I mute you, dear? Because you're talking over me. Okay, I will mute her just to be safe, just in case. Thanks very much. So I had this conversation where I focused only on them, and it was a friend of ours. I'm not going to mention Styles' name. She's one of our business partners. And she's like, oh my God, that was the most fun night. We had such a blast. All I did was purposely talk about her completely. Now, that's not a slam on her. It's a focus on that's how we think. People will be fascinated having a conversation with somebody who's interested in them. Please try this with your significant other. Try it with your children. Try it with your clients. You'd be amazed what happens. So we got a whole lot of conversations going on here. Now, here's the thing. If I'm having a great conversation and I already know Kimberly's address, I may write her and her husband, because I'm going to be obviously very respectful, a thank you note. So great to speak to you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing your experience on Italy. It made such a difference. I'm going to share it with my wife. I just wanted you to know I think you're awesome. Now, my personal cards just have my name on them. They don't have anything real estate related. And when I send this out, because she's a friend, there's no real estate card in here. Now, I also practice, not as well as I should. I'm being transparent because I enjoy coaching more than I enjoy real estate. I hate to say that, but I really do love helping as opposed to the drama that we have in real estate. That's my only negative comment for the entire day. In fact, I'm going to take it back. I like helping people, but I love coaching. I don't put my business card in there because I don't want it to be a real estate conversation. I want it to be a relationship handwritten note. I'm not showing them business. I show them business with my expertise in my emails, with my once a month postcard, with my video update. It's about me because I've only spoken about them and they'll actually open it. Now, if you do the quick math, we're talking to our database about 80 times. We're communicating with our database about 80 times over the course of the year at a minimum. Remember that number I said in the beginning? If you have a conversation 33 times, you can expect 2 transactions for every 12 people. I am reposting this syllabus again in the chat just so you have it. Those are facts we figured out in 2005. Let's say they're wrong. Let's say it's 1 out of every 10, 33 times. What do you think would happen if they're constantly getting supportive, nurturing, caring, friend, informational, expertise stuff from you? Well, George, I don't have the time. Yes, you do. The big burden is going through your full database and sorting them by saying this person gets the tag sphere. So once you figure out 100 people to get the tag sphere, then you go through those and you break them down into 28 bite-sized pieces. I have 74 people. That means that Jackie and I have, now I obviously have people that I'm interested in partnering with that are in there. And I will tell you a little secret. I have my family in there as well because I forget to call them. So I've given them a hashtag too. So I don't forget to call my cousins. Yes, I'm that much of an idiot. Okay, I own it. So I have to make sure that this is my brain and it thinks for me. So I know what to do every day. And yes, I do it on Saturdays and Sundays because my job is not to call them about real estate. My job is to call them about them and let them know that they're important. And y'all think about this. Who here, the people that actually are on camera, show of hands, who here would be cool if your job was to make somebody's day better? Show me your hands if you're okay with that work. This is a sidebar. Y'all can stop going for the $1 billion lottery. Jackie and I we have the winning tickets. We've already filled them out. And what we're going to do is, let's say you only, tell you what, Ted, you just, because of that, you get $100,000 of it, and I get $100,000 a year when you win, since you're disagreeing. And that's it. We're closing the window at this point, but that's fair. We'll do the right thing. But imagine this. I want you guys to think about this. This is the game that Jackie and I play, and it really comes from positive. So we're going to take the cash out. Let's say it's $500 million, and we're going to take at least half of that, or we're going to take half of that. We're going to do our own fun things. But the other half, the $250 million, we're going to put in the bank at 5% interest, and 200 days a year, we're going to spend that interest to positively help somebody, something, some person, some company, some venture move forward. That's $55,000 a day we have to give. And like Brewster's Millions, we can't give it to the same group, the same person, the same church, the same, whatever the organization is. We have to continue to find ways to improve somebody, something, somehow quality of life. That's almost what we're doing here. Our job is to reach out to the people that matter to us, our sphere, in bite-sized pieces, and have 3 or maybe 4, hopefully 5 at some point, conversations with people and make their day better. Let them know they count. That's database. Now, once a month, you have to send out a postcard, which is change some text, change a photo that you stole off the MLS. Seriously. Download your name, download the PDF front and back. If you're not sure how to do it, go to YouTube. So how do I download from Canva? They'll show you how to do it. I send both of those to Amplified Mail. I spend a whopping $864 a year, which is less than $80 a month, to send out 100 postcards that say, hey, listen, I just sold a home. I make a short video that takes me literally less than 5 minutes to put the whole thing together. I put it into the template that I make once, and I swap the video and the text out every single month. And I click send to the hashtag sphere. Everybody gets it. But what if they decline? What if they opt out? Good. You only want people that are swimming towards your boat, not away from it. Think of it this way. The Titanic sank, which is real estate. Anybody needs to sell a home. They're on a boat. They need help. We're experts at that. If they're swimming away from the lifeboat, you don't want to help them. If they're swimming to the lifeboat, help them. If they say they unsubscribe, good. One less person you got to worry about. The truth is, they weren't engaged. You're not in their top 2. Okay. Folks, when you are having conversations with people, there are 3 questions that you can ask. I said, I've got to know. And actually, Ted, always Ted. Love you, Ted. Unmute, brother. It's you and me again. He's my go-to because he's always like top, front, and center, and I love picking on him. Hey, Ted, I got to ask you a question. Are you living in your dream home? I mean, your forever home right now?
No.
Do me a favor, if you're comfortable with it, what's your dream home look like? I mean, I know it's probably the wrong time, but I want to make sure that if I run across something that is your dream home, I want to make sure I know what you want. What's your dream home, dude?
Well, my wife, she would like a larger kitchen. That's the first thing. For me, I would like a larger backyard because, from time to time, I like to get my hands dirty and plant flowers and stuff like that. I know it sounds crazy, but that helps me think.
That's awesome. So
Also,
do a little gardening, bigger
right,
kitchen,
right,
bigger kitchen
exactly.
for your wife for sure. With
And
wow.
and
Go ahead.
also, she has also expressed that she needs a little distance from the neighbors. She thinks they're a little bit too close. Yeah, she
Too
thinks they're a little
close.
too close. I don't think so, but she does. So that
Okay,
would
wow.
make it my forever home.
So what do you like to grow? What are you thinking of growing?
Well, for one, grass. I like to get the
Right,
grass growing properly, and then for
right on.
two, I plant some flowers here and there when the season comes around.
So it sounds like a nice retreat back there with some flowers and grass, where it really kind of like your safe spot.
Correct.
Good. No, y'all get this. I can continue to ask him questions. So tell me more about that. I mean, what does it look like? What are the plants you want to grow? And I'm going to have conversations. I could literally go on for a 30-minute conversation with Ted. And the question I asked him is, what is your dream home? And here's the cool, but thank you, brother. I appreciate that. God bless you, man. Thank you very much. The conversation, what is your dream home? What are you looking for? Is something that maybe 3 or 4 people know about. The next question is, do you have your retirement already set up? Or are you open to an opportunity if one would positively cash flow and actually start producing an income? If I ran across something like that, Ted, could I share that with you if it met the criteria of positive cash flow and didn't cost you a ton of money and actually made you money and your family? Would that work? That's another one. And the third conversation is, I have the most amazing vendors. And this is just in any conversation Ted and I have every month. Hey, I have got, if you need it, I know them. I know a great electrician. I've got phenomenal painters. I've got a plumber. Okay, I don't have a plumber. Nobody has a good plumber, but I have everything else besides a good plumber. You can't find a good plumber. Folks, these are 3 of those conversations where you really kind of do expertise. The other 9 are about them completely. The next thing we're going to talk about is, how do I add to my database? You've hopefully said, I'm going to do this today. It's going to hit your schedule. I'm going to hit schedule real quick. Here's your schedule. Once a month, I don't know, the first of the month, create the postcard, send it to Amplified Mail or whatever your mail service it is, get it downloaded. Once you build the template, It is a 30-minute or less per month job, period. Super easy. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to build the template, which needs to go in your schedule. That same day, I shoot a video. Jackie and I shoot a video. I showed you the stand. It looks just like this. We have them all over the house. We put our camera on there. We press record. Hey, it's George. And she says, and Jackie. We wanted to give you an update of what's going on in our world for this month. We hope you're having an amazing month. And then we go no more than 90 seconds. In fact, it's usually substantially less, like 60 seconds. Now, the text for it is, as I said, hi, name input here. This is an update from Jackie and George. And it says, hey, we just wanted to give you an update of what's going on. There are 3 bullet points. And then it says watch video for summary. And then there's the video, which is embedded into the email. At the very bottom, it says, thanks so much. We love you. Have an amazing day. God bless you. And we send that out to the people in our database because we go in and we type hashtag sphere, email, and send. And we upload it on YouTube and it's unlisted. So we copy the unlisted because we don't want everybody else seeing it. It's just for our database. Done. 1 hour a day, 1 hour a month. You're out. Every day, make the phone calls to the people that are there. How about adding people to your database? Because that's where most people tend to go, but I need to have more. And of course you do. So what's the action plan? This as well is what we're talking about. So I'm going to share this. And remember this. Hey, Kimberly, good to have you back again. Sorry, you just keep popping up on the top of my screen. So I'm not picking on you. I promise. I'm just saying hi. I love that you came back on. So God bless you. This is how you add people to your database. And this, again, this template is going to be dropped once more. I'm going to drop it again in the chat. I'm also going to put it at the bottom of gpsglobalpartners.com front page daily downloads. I'm going to go through this and then it's yours. And then we're going to open it up for question. Okay. This is the plan. Day 1, COI, Centers of Influence, new day, day 1. Text the person something about meeting them, where you met them, whatever it is. You've got their phone number. Friend request them on social media. Research them in the MLS and get their addresses if you can find it. If not, I've already told you how to do it. Day 2, if you haven't already, reply to their text to reply. If no reply, send an additional text along the same lines. If they have replied to your friend request, comment on something and send them a Facebook message about how, whatever the case may be, something on Facebook. Give it some time. Day 7, call with, I really enjoyed last week. Call and comment on something they were doing or involved with on social media. Compliment that. Compliment, comment, compliment, comment, compliment, comment. If they don't answer, and if you haven't replied to the initial test and don't answer, send them a text saying, hi, I just left you a voicemail, and leave a voicemail about what you would have said to the first one. Hey, meeting last week was awesome. That was terrific. And then you voicemail, send them a text message. I left you. Hey, John, I left you a voicemail. If they do not have an email, text them for their email. Hey, I wanted to get your personal email because I want to send you something I think you will enjoy, you'll like, find interesting, whatever. Would you mind sharing it with me? It's important to give a reason after you ask because 60% increase will occur when you do so. Here's the thing. Hey, I need to borrow $5. No. Hey, I need to borrow $5 because my child wants an ice cream cone. 60% greater because there's a reason. That's important. That's called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. People will give you something, respond, do something if you give them a reason after the request. Don't forget this. Hey, I really need to know what you think this house is worth because it will actually play into the true value. Oh, well, I think it's worth $395,434. Thank you very much. Because I gave them that, they'll do that. Otherwise, the chances are 60% of the time, they're going to say, what do you think it's worth? Okay, let's go back to this. I'm going to share it again. Okay, that's day 10. We've covered that. Day 14, social media time. Get into their social media, find some common denominator, post about it, look at it. Day 21, task. You should now have their email as well as their address. If you don't have their address, you know what to do. Hey, it's a holiday thing. I want to include you on my holiday list. What's your address? Or I've looked it up. I haven't done it. Create a hashtag that has something to do with their interests. Example, if they're into golf, if they're part of the elementary school, if you met them at a BMI club, whatever it is, because I search by hashtags, it may be a zip code that you use. In my city, we have every fourth Friday, the fourth Friday of each month, we have the food trucks over in a city called Windermere, which is right next to us. And that zip code is right next to my zip code, right next to the other zip code we work at. So everybody that's in my database, no matter who it is in the zip code, in those 3 zip codes, because I hashtag people by zip codes, I send them out. Hey, food trucks are this Friday. I'll be there for Monster Lobster. Hope to see you out there. Looking forward to it. If you're bringing a glass or a bottle of wine, I will bring an extra glass. I actually don't include that anymore, but if I used to, I would include that as well. What I'm getting at is it allows me to have additional communication. That's why we're digging into their social media, finding shared likes, commonalities. Okay. Summary of this. The following week, they come back from the regular call rotation because way up at the top, I gave them a hashtag. If I met them today, they would be hashtag 25 COI. Now, we talked about this. They get 12 just sold postcards. They get 12 calls or communications. They get 12 update emails. In fact, they get a lot more than 12. You want to do a micro party? We'll cover that down the road. Random humor postcards, social media touches and interactions. 8, you are blowing up your business. Folks, this takes 30 minutes to an hour a day, and your job is to make people feel good and let them know that you care and that you're interested in them. And once a month, I need you to invest an hour. Now, you'll find that when you're commenting on their social media, they're going to show up on your feed substantially more, and you can have more engagement and more conversations. This is where most people get their business, and it's also where most people say, well, you know what? They'll call me if they need me, and they don't give it their energy. If you want to thrive and survive in what is going to be an evolving market, for sure, listings to leads are critical. This is where most of it will come from. I don't care what else you do. Unless you are a prospector, hardcore prospector, this is your business. It does not happen overnight. Fair warning. It is time on task over time. It is something that you're going to have to put energy and effort into, and it's going to have to be consistent. You have a financial budget of roughly $894 to do this, and a time budget of 1 hour a day making somebody's life better. That's it. And then 1 hour a month. Now, is there some setup? You damn skippy there is, because nobody is doing it for you. You're going to have to get it on your schedule. I get off at 9:30 every day. I'll stay on longer because this is so important. I get off at 9:30 every day because that's when I start making my phone calls. It's too early. I used to prospect every morning. I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure I was on the phone at 7:50. And for 3 hours a day, I called for sale by owners exclusively for 3 years. And it was a grind. And it worked. I listed 26, 28, then 31 or 32 homes. In that, never worked with a buyer 100%. I did do a little farming in there. I had 115 homes that were in my neighborhood. And over 3 years, I met literally every single person in my neighborhood, shook their hand, introduced myself, because that was my commitment too. I had a map of the area, and I went through and I made sure I could put names on everybody. Most of my business came from those prospecting, and it was hard. Since then, our business is exclusively database. And I will tell you truthfully, Jackie and I have dropped the ball on it horribly. Don't do what we did. Build your database. You will thrive in this evolving market. And I'm here to tell you, and please let this sink in. Relationships will kick the ever-living shit out of Opendoor, OfferPad, Zillow, and anything else. So get in relationship. Let them know you love them. Tell them that they're important. Listen to what they have to say. Reach out to them. Be supportive. Be nurturing. And you will find that people start carrying you in their top 2 spots in their bucket when it comes to real estate professional. Chances are a lot of them will start moving you over from, oh, she's or he's a real estate expert, to they're a friend of mine. I trust them. And they happen to be real estate agents, but more importantly, I trust them. And they hear this chatter on the side of the thing. Oh, I'm thinking of selling my house. Oh, you got to call George. I trust him. He's phenomenal. Okay. That is where referrals come from, because nobody will refer you if they don't think that they don't think that you try, they don't think that they can trust you. They're not going to refer you. They're putting their reputation on the line. You have got to prove again and again and again that you care about them and you're concerned that they can trust you and that you're a professional. Okay, you're also a friend, but you're a professional. Every week they get an email from you that you don't think about, you don't create, you summarize, and then you curate and bring back to them. And are you going to be any good at it at first? No, you're going to suck at it. But the second one will be even better, and the third one will be great. Get off your horse, stop being afraid, and just do it. Time on task over time will prove to be your success mechanism. Some of you are probably thinking, the sky is falling. I'm out of business. This will never work. How do you possibly know that unless you put the effort in to make it work? I got into real estate that was the most competitive market with more than here. I mean, hands down more. And I was told to call for sale by owners, which literally you could put a sign in your yard. You'd have 3 offers for sale of your home inside of 4 hours. That's how crazy the market was. Everybody was buying. Here's the criteria to get a loan. You're approved. Everybody was buying homes because it was all speculation and it was crazy. And I still sold for sale by owners because that's all I called. Of course, they could sell it themselves. They didn't need us. Real estate agents are going to be needed very, very quickly. Listing agents that are excellent are going to be needed very, very quickly. The buyer side is going to be a little more interesting. We're still not sure what's going to happen. You need to be a listing agent. I will give you a listing presentation that'll knock their socks off with a marketing plan to go with it next week. So put it on your schedule. And this week, right now, get your database where your database is set up and it becomes automatic. And here's the cool part. Let's say you get out of real estate. Doesn't matter. Database still is your gold mine in everything you do. More important than anything else, it's your gold mine with the people that matter to you. Now, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and I absolutely know that you can do this. But you're going to have to do the hard work. And if it's any help, for a nominal fee, I'll come to your house. I'll stand over your shoulder. And if you don't perform at a very high level consistently, I will thwart you on the head with a special tool. Hold on. This is my agent motivation tool. So if you'd like me to come to your house, every time you don't perform and you stop doing your job, I'll just go boom, just like that. It's actually a gift from a very, very twisted friend of mine who is the best real estate agent I've ever seen. He is 100% exclusive in his database. He has 100 people on his social media. That's it. He is referral based only. His average sale price is $3.5 million. It was $700,000 3 years ago. He has elevated it up. He sells 100 homes by himself. He has no assistant, no buyer agent, no transaction management, handles all of it. And from his own admission, this boy is probably the strongest drinker I've ever seen. Now, I'm not advocating that that's going to help you be great, because it won't. It'll actually be different. But what I'm saying is he is so good with his database that they refer him all the time. And they are brutally loyal because they know he's a professional and he's incredibly good at what he does. I'll show you how to be a great listing agent next week. It is 9:30. This is over. I'm stopping recording and we're going to open it up to questions. Hold on.